Wholeness. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is Silvertree here. Thank you so much for tuning into this Wednesday's message. So today I'm going to get into why I do not use tarot cards for divination. I'll just jump right into it. I am a big one on creating your spiritual tools organically. The more raw and natural your spiritual tools and the fewer tools that you have, the clearer the message. Okay? There is this thing I like to call like spiritual aesthetic. Okay? You have your altar, then you have your special candles, and then you have your special incense, and then you have your special crystals, and then you have your special tarot cards, and then you have your special this, and then you have your special that, and then you have your special this. All that is great. All that is great. I think, you setting the mood, you setting the energy right. It's very ritualistic. However, after practicing minimalism for a number of years, I would say, where I literally had the bare essentials. Okay, I didn't even have an altar, I didn't have a table, I didn't have I barely had a candle. Most of the time I didn't even have a candle. Okay, I didn't have my runes, I didn't have anything, and I kept like distancing myself from these things, right? Like I kept finding myself just moving away from the altar, moving away from the crystals, moving away from all the spiritual books and the witchery and all this other stuff. And even like incense, I don't use incense now. I live in a place where you can't really burn anything anyway, but I distance myself from all these tools to tune in to the realization that I am the tool. I am the incense, I am the candle, I am this, I am the altar, I am my runes, I am the things that I use to, set the mood, if you will. Like, these are things that help people who are very much still in this thing that, they're in that illusion of separation, right? Where it's like they need this thing in order to get a specific result. Okay? Now, that being said, do these things work? Yes, they do. Right? But I wanted to talk a little bit more about, specifically the tarot cards. I've been studying YouTubers really for the past, I'd say maybe 5 years. And I've come to the conclusion it's not for me. It's not for how I interpret energy at all. And I say this with the deepest humbleness because, I have an understanding of how these things work. You must understand that everything has an energy blueprint, and crystals are an energy blueprint for you to realize that you are the crystalline, right? The tarot cards are very artistic. It's a set image, right? You have the wands, the cups, and a couple of other things that are symbolic, right? It's very set in stone. And I feel like it's for spiritual artists' way to set the story, okay? And make the interpretation tangible for the receiver of the energy reading. However, what I've noticed online that's very detrimental to many people, you have these things called pick a card, any card. You have general readings for the astrological signs, which are also a whole nother network of blue energy blueprints. It's just a map. Okay, you can't just live your whole existence by that alone. There's truths in all things. But for me, I find when I'm giving energy readings, the image is too distracting and it's too set. And you know, as far as the decorative, like I've seen so many different decks, and most of them are very beautiful. I've seen the traditional ones, and I'm an artist. Okay, like I work with pen art, so black and white. I love the contrast. I like the small detail type of art. That's my thing. And I've made probably 2 whole decks so far, and have gotten rid of both of them. Because it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like I've evolved past that. And so that's one reason why I just find it's too distracting and it's too decorative. And here's the thing. This is why I say it's too distracting. Because if you think of the ancients, okay? And I'm not going to give any names. I'm just going to say the ancients, the ones who came before us. What did they use if they could not cast stone, if they could not cast bones? They used their inner eye, their third eye, to see and to receive visions and downloads and prophecies. Okay? And even before that, they used the water. Water is by far one of the, before the mirror, okay? But I say it weakens. A lot of the time you're weakening your inner eye, that strength, okay, of the third eye, when you're relying on a fixed image before you and you're laying out these cards. You're not allowing, you're kind of cutting off visions and visuals that you should be receiving from spirit or from source when you're doing this practice with tarot. Okay, so, and I'm not knocking those who use this method. I think, it's a good practice. I think it's a great gateway into, over time, becoming less reliant on your spiritual tools. I think, if anything, using divination tools are a way for clarification and confirmation. It shouldn't be something where you go to because you're not practicing using your third eye energy center. That's something that it just doesn't resonate with me. And again, you're using someone else's energy. So every time, you order a tarot card that, a whole deck with the imagery and the art, that's supporting someone's business. There's definitely pros. I'm not here knocking down tarot, okay? But I'm speaking about it on a different interpretation, okay, of why I don't use them personally for my energy readings. But you're using someone else's interpretation of energy and you're blending it with the energy that the source is sending you, okay? Now, again, for those that want to strengthen what you already have, because remember, you are the tool, you are the device, okay? You are the conduit, right? And you're pretty much telling the universe, oh, my third eye is not strong enough, so I'm going to rely on these images to interpret what's going on and to help this client or to help this person who's in need. And that's quite all right. I'm not knocking anyone on that. I'm not coming for anyone. I just personally am at this point in my journey where I primarily use very simple symbols that came to me, through me, from source, to interpret certain things and certain energies in certain spaces. That's it. And and I had to give an offering, and let's say I had to sacrifice time, I had to and be silent to receive these symbols that, it took me about 2.5 years for me to get to the point where I'm sharing these symbols with you now. So, you know, when again, there is strength in making your own divination tools from scratch. And I will say that there's more power, more connection when you, let's say you want to design your own tarot deck, and you literally draw out the pictures. You physically cut and paste and you laminate and you do all that stuff, or you get another. Just know that if you're wanting to send your image to a production company and get it published and make several hundreds of copies of it, just know that you're also now exposing someone else into your creative process, which again can or may distort that your energy blueprint. That's the thing with your spiritual tools that you create from your hands and from the earth, with raw earth materials. Okay, like with my runes, I had to physically go out and cut that branch from that tree. Okay, like it was work. I had to go and saw and sand and burn in it. Like it was a process. It took a couple of years to get what I felt Source wanted me to do. Okay, so that's the only, you know, now I'm not going to say downside, but it's a lot of patience, because you have to wait and make sure that you're in a resonance with the spiritual tool that you want to use. You have to wait on how this tool is supposed to be expressed. You know what I'm saying? Are you taking a hammer and hammering it out? Are you, are you using a wood burner? Are you, using colored pencils and markers? Are you using your own life waters? Like, what are you doing? How, you have to tune into these things, because the more natural and organic and it is more sincere and genuine the askings are, in the direction that you'll receive. Okay, and I'm talking about subtle energies. Okay, I'm not, again, use what you want, but if you're truly wanting to strengthen your intuition and have deeper faith in yourself, in the confirmations that you get in your readings, build and use your own tools. Okay, for me, I get overstimulated by imagery. I do. I get, with color and all that other stuff, the more simplistic my energy space is or altar is, the better off I am. There's some people who feed off of a lot of stuff, and they need that. There's some people who have certain energy fields or energy vortexes, meaning their mind, body, and emotional bodies, right? So their energy vortex is so strong and it's a lot denser that they need a lot more tools to offset certain things. For me, my energy is a lot lighter. And I'm not saying I'm less dense. I have my dense days. Don't get me twisted on that one, for sure. I'm saying when it comes to electromagnetic field, I feel intuitively that I'm a much lighter person. I don't necessarily need tons of things, right, to do my energy readings. If I need to ground, I go eat an apple, or I go and walk, or I go outside to kind of stabilize. But there's some people, like my partner, his energy field is incredibly large. And so he has to have certain things that can stabilize and offset those certain energies. So, but yeah, I'm again, this is a knock on tarot. It's just, for me, if anyone ever asks, oh, like, do you do tarot readings? No, I don't. That's someone else's through imagery. It's someone else's interpretation of a story, and each card tells a specific story, and it just kind of messes up whatever I'm getting through my inner eye. And so I just don't feel like, and then because when it gets muddy, and then I can't trust whatever's coming through. So I know that if I'm using my own tools that Source guided me to use and to put together and to alchemize and all that other stuff, I know I can trust the images that are coming through because I'm not being bogged down and distracted by the images I see on the cards. So that's why I don't use them, and you'll never see them on here. I have tried to I think 2 or 3 sets. I mean, took a long time, a lot of work. I'm like, I'm gonna get this published. And I don't know. I may make a deck, but I will. Again, I'm not sure the direction quite yet. I am an artist. I have tons of art, and maybe in 10 years I might come out with something, but as of right now, I'm just really kind of enjoying my runes, and that's about it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you next Wednesday. Thank you. Remember to expand your consciousness, evolve your human being, and embrace supreme love and guidance from Source, always with love. Bye.